Hey everybody, this is Rick Lumac and Bowinn Ma, and we
Hello.
have another edition of Walking with Bowinn and Rick after the sessions and recapping the week that we had.
Yep. No Attorney General with us today, though.
No, but we do have an umbrella.
We have an umbrella today.
Because it's raining.
It is raining.
Yeah, so some of the highlights from this week. We had this huge rally on Tuesday
That's
for
right,
proportional
we did.
representation.
With Andrew Weaver and John Horgan.
Yes, side by side.
They never thought that they would be doing a rally together. Hi, Joe.
So, did you know, Bowinn, that there's only been one time in like the last 100 years in BC that one party got more than 50% of the popular vote in an election?
Is that it? Just one time?
I looked.
I thought it was like at least 2 times.
Really? 2 times? Well, I looked
It might
back.
just be 1 time.
I looked back over like 100 years of elections. I saw
Holy
one
crud.
time that one party got more than 50% of the vote, which is shocking because that means that every government that we've had in BC has the people of the province have voted for other parties other than the party in government. So what do you think we should do about that?
I think you're leaning towards vote yes to prop rep, but
Yeah.
it's actually vote pro rep in question 1. Oh, we've got comments coming in from Joe again. Hello, Joe.
Joe, our big fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, don't forget to vote. Are you okay?
Watch out for trees.
Watch
when,
out for
This is
trees.
why we use the buddy system.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness, you alright? We're okay. Yes, vote pro rep in question 1 in the electoral referendum ballots that you're going to be receiving at home.
Yeah. And so yeah, we had a big rally. It was a huge rally. I don't think there's
Almost
been
1,000 people.
I don't think there's been any rallies for first past the post. We also had a very interesting question period this week where the leader of the opposition kept calling the premier a coward, saying he doesn't want to debate proportional representation on TV. Ironically,
Yes, that was
we
on
are
TV.
in the House and we are actually on TV, and you can watch it, and we're actually debating in the House a bill on proportional representation. And the bill we were debating was related to having another referendum in 2 elections to confirm that if the proportional representation passes, whether we're happy with it as a province. And Andrew Wilkinson, the leader of the opposition, did not even debate that in the House. He doesn't think it's worth debating in the House of the people, only on primetime TV, interestingly.
Can I just say that if you're looking for a question period with high entertainment value
Yeah.
but low substance, that
Monday.
also explains exactly why we need to go to proportional representation and why first past the post creates divisive politics here in BC. I would highly recommend I think it was actually Tuesday. It was Tuesday's QA. Tuesday's question period in the morning. You can
Yeah.
actually go to ledge.bc.ca and
Was it Tuesday or?
I'm pretty sure
it was
on
Monday, I
Tuesday.
think.
No, it was on Tuesday.
Are you sure? Hey,
Watch out for the bus.
They got a bus coming, but we're safe. We're being safe.
Can we go straight this way?
Sure.
Okay, let's go straight this way.
Okay. So other things that happened this week, we actually introduced legislation on something called the Professional Governance Act, which basically allows. There's been a lot of concerns around professionals, engineers, in the environmental assessment process on how they're facing pressure from the people that hire them, like the companies that hire them, to change their recommendations and things like that.
let me
And we
take
have an
this-
engineer here that can explain
Let me
the whole
take
thing.
this one. The Professional Governance Act is a piece of legislation in response to a review on the professional reliance model. So
Yeah.
the professional reliance model is basically when you go to have a professional engineer, you rely on that engineer to give you correct advice based on science, based on facts and so forth. And they are regulated through Engineers Geoscientists BC. Now, most of the time, these professional organizations do a fairly good job of regulating their members, but there have been some challenges in the past that have led to some not so good things happening. So the Professional Reliance Review...
Like Mount Poly?
So the Professional Reliance Review report actually made a bunch of recommendations to government as to how to improve the professional reliance model. And one of them was to create an oversight body that combines all of the oversight responsibilities that are currently dispersed through 4 different ministries. So this will create a oversight body that is very focused on supporting these professional these professional organizations. They're there to provide and by combining them into one oversight body, it actually creates more administrative efficiency as well, because right now those duties are spread out through 4 different ministries. But there's a lot else that happens. Obviously, there's a lot more to do with the Professional Governance Act. So, for instance, it introduces whistleblower protections for professionals who basically blow the whistle on unethical things that are happening. It also provides an opportunity for these professional organizations to regulate companies as well, not just individuals. So there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah, good stuff. Good summary. I read that 56% of professionals felt pressure to change their recommendations. I read that somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
So whistleblower protections will be very important in that.
Yeah. And it'll improve our environmental assessment process. It's one of many improvements that are going to be coming with this government so that the public can regain their trust in our environmental assessment process.
If you hear the scratching noise, that's just trees brushing up against my umbrella.
Yes. Very low trees here in Victoria.
Right.
Okay, what else happened?
Well,
my arm's getting tired.
I was in my very first cold media scrum today. Media scrum is basically where you go into a pit of cameras and reporters and they ask you questions without very much preparation time.
And lots of bright lights shining on you.
That's right. It turns out that somebody did try to warn me about this, but I didn't actually get the warning until after it happened. So I don't know how well I did, but I did my best. But it's a very fun announcement today out on the North Shore. Basically, the government has signed a new service and maintenance contract that improves incident clearing on the highways. Now, this doesn't sound... Oh my goodness! Are you okay? Okay, so doing this with umbrellas is a little bit dangerous. Here, come back onto the sidewalk.
We need some oversight here.
Oh my gosh.
Some professional reliance
yes, that's right.
oversight on what we're doing here. Okay.
So, what was I going to say? Incident clearing on the highways. So if you know, North Shore traffic sucks. There's a ton of volume, and now normally drivers can generally tolerate a bit of volume on the highways and bridges, but what gets really intolerable is when there are incidents. So when the car has a stall or there's some type of collision that backs up the entire highway and bridge. That's a problem, because when that happens, your trip time is really it's really unpredictable. You can't plan for it. And it turns basically a 45-minute travel time, like a 45-minute trip, into a 2.5-hour trip. You just can't handle. You can't plan for that. So the new service contract provides standby towing vehicles at each bridge, at the Lionsgate Bridge and at the Ironworkers Memorial Bridge. And the Ironworkers Memorial Bridge, for most of the day, from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. on weekdays and 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. on weekends, we will have 3 trucks, 3 tow vehicles just on standby, just in case something bad happens on the bridges, so that they can get them off the roads right away. And for the North Shore, this is a big deal, because any little positive thing helps. And this was actually one of the recommendations from the Integrated North Shore Transportation Planning Report, project report that was released last month. Now, there's obviously a lot more that needs to be done to improve traffic congestion out on the North Shore, but this was just one improvement that I'm very glad is happening. And there's more work to do.
There you go. I think that's a good summary. Is there anything else that you remember?
I think that's, gee, I don't know. What
Yeah,
else?
I think that's a good summary of our week.
Yeah.
And we're going to be back here again next week, introducing more legislation and making our province a better place for all the
Yep.
people in BC. So we'll see you next week.
Take care.
Bye.